Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and we're going to do a review today. And I don't have a folding knife in front of me today, but we do have a fixed blade, and this is the Civivi Circulus. Or some people might say Circulus, but I'm going to go with Circulus. And this is a little neck knife that Civivi has put out. And I've been carrying this for a little bit, and some pros and cons about this knife we'll discuss, and we'll get into it here. So this little guy, he has a blade length of 1.96 inches. Open, it is, well, open, the whole length of it is 4.96 inches. And the handle, it is a 3-inch handle on there. So not a very big knife, as you can see. It's a smaller little guy, which is great for being around the neck. The steel on this, it is a 10CA 15CO MOV with a drop point blade. The weight of it is 1.01 ounces, so nice and light. Not a lot of weight there. It doesn't feel heavy when it's around your neck, which is also a good thing. The sheath on this, it is a Kydex sheath. And let you see that. Sorry, we'll get it in here where you can see it in the camera. And it does have a belt clip, which you can put on the other side, which is good. And it also comes with a titanium bead chain for wearing around your neck. So you can either wear this as on your belt or in your pocket, which I carried it more that way than I did with the chain. I basically put the chain on. I did wear it a little bit around my neck, but basically put the chain on just for the video here, because when I do carry it, I carry it on my belt area. So it does have a paracord lanyard with a Civivi bead on there as well. It has jimping on the back of the blade. Give your thumb a bit of purchase. And I already mentioned it does have the pocket clip on there so that you can wear it a couple of different ways. All right. Let's get into the nitty-gritty on this thing. So it is a small knife. I'm just going to set the sheath aside for a few minutes. It is a smaller knife. And to give you a comparison, I don't have any of my big knives handy, but compared to, say, the Ontario Rat 2, which is a medium-sized folding knife, you can see it's quite a bit smaller. And if you put the bug out by Benchmade there, you can see it is a small knife. And I don't think you need me to bring out some of the bigger knives to show you that, yes, that is a small knife. But for around your neck, you don't necessarily need a big knife. And how about sharpness? What does it do for sharpness? Well, let's see what this will do to the paper here. Got a nice sharp edge on it. Cuts through the paper, no problem. Set that off to the side. Oops, we'll try my favorite, the zip tie. And if you've ever had to open a package with zip ties on it, actually went through that pretty easy. So that might be a good knife for opening packages with zip ties, where you have to cut stuff out of the package. And the paracord, no problem at all. So it does have a very nice sharp edge on it. So that's a plus. You need a good sharp edge for when you're using this. And so I'm just going to pop the chain off because I don't like the chain on here. Sorry, guys. For those of you that may have been interested in the chain. We'll just set that aside for the moment. So it is nice that you can wear it as a neck knife. I don't wear it as a neck knife because it flops around a lot. And actually the paracord, if you tuck it in, the little paracord in that, it rubs. And yeah. So I don't wear it a lot as a neck knife, but I was wearing it a lot on my pants due to the pocket clip. And so you can switch the pocket clip around if you want to put it in your pocket as a pocket knife. And I have on my pants, I have some cargo pants that I wear, and it has a small slit in the waistline just underneath the belt, and I can fit that into that slit on the waistline and wear it scout style on my belt, so that it's easy to grab. It's along the front there and makes it easy to grab. And so I've been using this mainly as a secondary knife when I'm out and about. I have a pocket knife that I use for most things, but sometimes I'll pop this out. So what I liked about this, it is a good looking knife. You got the skeletonized handle to reduce the weight a bit, and it also gives you a little bit of grip with your fingers, depending on how you hold the knife. But it does help definitely with weight. I liked the ergonomics of it. You know, it's not a fancy design, but it's a good looking design. I think it looks decent, and like the way it presents. So yeah, a good blade profile, and the skeletonized handle, and that makes it look a little more tactical maybe, and it looks good to me. The ergonomics on it, they are good. With the jimping on the top, you get a good purchase with your thumb. I'm not a lanyard person, and normally I would probably remove this lanyard, but because of the size of the handle, you're only getting at best 3 fingers on there, depending on the size of your hand. But because of the lanyard and the way I've tied it, I get that purchase where you can see the bead comes on the back here, and it just kind of, it gives my little finger a purchase on the knife, but the bead acts as kind of a buttstock, and so it just gives me a little extra grip, and so I can feel that pressing against the bead, and it just gives me an extra grip. So if you do purchase this knife and you have a bigger hand, you can just space the bead at different places, and I do find it helps with the grip. So I will leave the lanyard on this knife. Of course, I mentioned the lightweight. It's nice and light. It does very well. When you're wearing it, you don't really notice it. And I like, again, the versatility. You can wear it as a neck knife. You can switch that around and carry it, and it just gives you a little bit of versatility. With the holes, you could fasten it on to different things, and it would just make it so you can carry it a variety of different ways. A couple of the things that I did not like is that, again, as with a lot of knives, the pocket clip is not flush, so it does do wear and tear on the pocket. And they made the screws flush with the pocket clip, but again, they don't have a lot to work with to make that flush, so I cut them slack. But it does do wear and tear on your pocket, so as much as possible, I would like to have a pocket clip flush, but I know in this case it's not a likely thing just because of lack of material. And one of the things that I wasn't really happy with is most of the Kydex sheaths I have with knives, the knife will click into a spot. With this one, they didn't really make an emphasis here and make a bigger space for the knife. and maybe it's just this knife alone. I don't know, anyone else who owns one of these, maybe you find it different. But the knife doesn't really click into place. It just kind of squeezes in to the sheath. And so if somebody pushes it really hard, it goes further in and it's really difficult to get out. But if you don't push it in far enough, it'll fall out because it's not clipping in. So usually on these Kydex sheaths, when you push it in, it kind of clicks into place. There's enough space here, and then it pinches enough here that it kind of clicks into place. It doesn't do this with this knife, and that kind of makes me a little sad. I'd like to see Civivi spend a little more time on the sheaths and just make it to click in. I noticed they have a couple other neck knives that they are bringing out, the Elementum, and also a kukri style neck knife, and I think they've paid more attention, at least from the pictures, to the sheath on that. So that's probably my biggest complaint, is that the knife, depending on how hard you push it, it will go in further and makes it very difficult to pop out of the sheath, or not enough so it tends to fall out. So if anybody else has one of these knives and yours works different than mine, feel free to let me know. But as far as making this a main knife, in my books, I wouldn't say so. Great as a little secondary knife. You can cut, as you saw, cut through paracord and cut through zip ties and stuff like that. Might be good camping if you're sharpening a stick for marshmallows or wieners or that. Be good for that kind of stuff. Opening up boxes, if you work, in a warehouse or something and you open a lot of boxes, this would be handy for that. It lets you get that grip on there, and you can control and open boxes or packages. So something like that, you could use it, but it's kind of small to use as much more than that. And so you will find it does have limited use, but it does have its use. So there you go. And as a secondary knife, I found it to be great, and I just like it. It's a nice little knife, a good conversation piece, and it does what it's supposed to do. So as a neck knife, it functions great, and that's all you need. You don't need a big thing for a neck knife. So that is the Civivi Circulus. And you can find those at a lot of places. I got this one at, where did I get it? House of Knives, I believe, here in Canada. I will put a link to this one in the description. You can find that. So check them out. If you're looking for a neck knife, this might be something that interests you. Or if you're just looking for a little secondary backup knife, some places allow concealed carry, I think. I don't know. Maybe not here in Canada, you can't. So it does have to be visible. But it is a knife you could conceal easily. And it fits in backpacks and purses and stuff like that. So if you're looking for a small knife to put in a backpack or that, for hiking, this would be a good knife for that. So Civivi Circulus. Check them out. All right, that's it for this review. Thanks for joining me. I'll be doing another review coming up. Watch for that. Click, like, leave me a comment, and hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and enjoy the videos. We'll do another knife review coming up, but until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.